So,
How you doing, Peter?
I'm doing very well, Craig.
Good to see you again, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me over for a lovely dinner tonight. I really
Steak and
enjoyed-
potatoes, man.
It was exactly what I like to have. So,
I know. And a Coke.
yeah, and a Coke.
And a
That's
Coke.
right. Yeah.
On a more serious note, though, mental health. Mental health is an up-and-coming productivity tool for businesses. It's a right thing to do, as we're all Canadians, which is a good thing. And I just want to thank you for being progressive enough to bring me into your place. So.
Well, it's an important subject. It's one that I think all of us in business have a hard time embracing sometimes, just because we don't know how to. But in my case, we had a mental health incident that made me realize I can't ignore this anymore. It's part of the environment in my business, and what am I going to do to fix that? And that's where you came along to help us out with that.
Yeah, and your situation is you have, you know, all sorts of age groups. You got the millennials to everything. You've got the old school guys like me, you know, and then you've got male, female, and all that other stuff. Then you've got customers who are like today. It's 40 degrees, and they've got like no air conditioning, or in the winter. So you've got people that are on edge, and you're telling me I have to stay home from work, and you guys are going to be 7 hours. So your people are under a lot of stress.
They are. They really, and you don't realize how much, let's say, even at their home stress that's coming into work, and then how much of the customer's stress is being put on them. But when you finally came in and talked to my staff and had that hour with them, what I realized after that was what surprised me, that they opened up. They walked into my office. They started to talk to me about their concerns and their mental health issues. And all I did was say, it was okay.
Yeah.
Come and talk to me.
And that's key, is a boss who's progressive enough to say, it's okay. We're all human beings. We all have mental health.
You know, and if you don't do that, then you start wondering what the cost is. You know, I worry about it if somebody gets in a car accident. I worry if somebody cuts their hands. And I have WSIB claims, and I can measure that. But I had nothing to understand of what a mental health incident was going to cost me, and how much it really does cost that you don't know about, because you think they're just off with the flu, and it's really not the flu. It is them trying to deal with what's going on, and they just don't know they can talk to you.
So now, have you given a lot more thought to what the cost is? Have you done any math on that?
We have, for sure. I mean, a service tech missing a day will be, you know, $800 to $1,000. Install crew, if one misses a day, I now don't have a crew, that can be anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000 in a day. So you don't have to start missing too many of those days before you realize that this is costing you as much as any other health and safety concern you have.
Do you know my takeaway of this? I got to start charging you more.
Well, we could talk about that. But I said the biggest thing is talk, open up,
Listen.
get SOS in, talk about ways that you can assist that company to make their mental health better, make it okay to talk, disrupt the conversation. Just do it instead of being afraid of, well, what if I say something about mental health? That will just increase claims or increase more people off.
So let's talk about that, for example. So did you have any fear that if I bring this mental health to the front that you'd have more people going off and stuff like that?
I didn't know. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I was more afraid of I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But you gave me the confidence that I could handle that. And you gave me the tools I needed to able to help my coworkers and my employees through it.
Yeah.
Then I felt comfortable.
Was it difficult?
All very, very difficult for
Really?
an old guy. So I've been in the business for 41 years. Put your nose to the grindstone and work. This was all new to me. But what it's done is realize that maybe years ago, I could have had some mental health issues.
Yeah.
And
Everybody has mental health.
you know, and some of my employees that maybe aren't with me anymore because I really didn't understand what they were going through. So do I believe this is the best thing to happen to our company in a long time? Absolutely.
Wow.
So
So let me take back to my question about how difficult it was. So now that you have these tools, I mean, it's like anything. If you don't know what you don't know, it's tough. But were the tools that complicated? Was it rocket science?
no, and you know, I always say our staff or my staff is we have very highly educated and we have people who just want to work with their hands. So you had a wide spectrum of people that you had to reach. But the tools allowed us to reach all of them easily and allow them to bring it in at their level and understand it, and then realize them to go away and maybe rethink of what's going on and come back and be able to talk to me or talk to our office manager or different managers in the company to improve it.
So a key thing I think is that you get it. A lot of organizations and companies don't get it. They don't. So what makes you different than these others? Why did you get it and others are pushing back?
I think you got to look ahead.
Yeah.
Stop looking back. So, you know, I call it lag measures and lead measures. So we're already looking at reports and everything that told us what happened instead of looking ahead and saying, how can we prevent it? And I think if you're one of those companies that want to lead in your industry, and even in my corporate company, we're different. You know, we are leading in it where other ones are putting their hands up and saying, I'm not ready to do it yet.
Yeah.
But if you look ahead and realize what this can do, it will work great for you.
Good. So sometimes I get pushed back with EAP, for example, an employee assistance plan. Do you guys have an employee assistance plan?
We do.
So to me, so the employee assistance plan is once you know you're sick and you pick up the phone. And I try and focus on the preventative so they don't need to get to that.
Right.
So obviously you went ahead with it, but what are some of the other things that you think that other business owners would push back and object to?
Well, you know, we all look at costs. You know, we all look at, you know, dollars and cents. But when you look at the cost of employees being off or not being present, so they're there at work, but they're really not there at work. And when you look at that cost and compare it to the cost of helping them, you know, it may be a cost year one, but year two, year three, and year four, you're going to see the return on investment that's just going to blow that cost away.
So nobody's perfect, not even you guys, although you're the best. I mean, you guys are awesome. And so accidents happen.
Yep.
And then there's a thing called near misses,
Yeah.
right? And so the accidents, or more importantly, like the near misses, I believe are significantly contributed by lack of being present or presenteeism. Do you guys measure any of this yet?
We do. And you know, I used to think near misses are, you know, why isn't your head in the game? You know, why aren't you there? Now when I see a near miss, it's come on in my office and sit down. What's going on? You know, you just could have got hurt there. There's something going on that's distracting you from your job. I'm here to help you. Talk to me. That wasn't Peter Inch a few years ago.
So you're growing too.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what SOS showed me, that I needed to change and that I needed to open those conversations up. And now your staff, your coworkers feel that you can do that. So
Yeah.
now they're walking in before the near miss happens to
Yeah.
have that conversation.
Yeah, the good old days when you and I were little flaring tubes and stuff like
Yep.
that, it was like, suck it up, buttercup, and do it. But now it's like, we can't expect them to take their brain out. This is my personal brain. This is my work brain. And it's all together. And everybody has mental health. Everybody goes through deaths and marriages and all that other stuff. So,
Yep.
you know, being empathetic and sympathetic to people like that. Do you think that there's, I mean, your crew are pretty awesome to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that there's any more of an uptick in terms of trust and respect with you and with each other and watching each other's back?
Oh, I do. I think they now realize my stress and my mental health, that, you know, maybe that look on my face has nothing to do with them. It's to do with the pressure that's being put on me. And so I think we both understand each other more, but I also think it allows both of us to check ourselves once in a while and say, you know what, smile. You know, it's hot, it's a beautiful day. You know, we got all the work in. Yes, there was 100 people we couldn't make happy today, but there was 250 that we did. And
Yeah.
let's celebrate that.
All right. Is there anything that you'd like to share with me that I haven't asked you about? Anything come to mind?
The biggest thing is I'd like to share with you and share with everybody else who watches this video is take the leap. You know, stop being afraid, stop looking at the dollars and cents, but actually get ahead of this and move forward in it. And when you do that, you'll see how much your employees will love this and how much the morale at your centers or your business will grow. And then you realize, I should have done this years ago.
So a lot of that, you know, it's in your genes, your third generation, and I know your brother and your grandfather even.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is about people. But what about your competition? Do you think this gives you a bit of an edge at all?
I think it does. I think it does two things. It gives me an edge that my employees are happy, but I think it also gives me an edge when I go to the marketplace and try to attract new employees. That now they see that we don't just care about how many service calls they do, we care about their health, both on accidents and incidents, but also on the mental side as well.
I got nothing else. That's amazing, man.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I was here, and anybody out there, SOS, the best thing you can do.
Thanks, Peter.